Okay, you guys, so we are back home from our trip. We already flew from LA to Sacramento, but I wanted to show you guys, because I had vlogged a little bit of snow flying, and some of it went really well, and then some of it went really bad. And obviously I'm not gonna put in clips of like her scream crying for like a long period of time, but I did want to kind of give you some little glimpses into my experience flying with snow. And I know like every baby's different and everybody has different experiences. I just thought it was really interesting because some flights she did so good, and then some flights she did horrible. And I think that the shorter flights obviously were much easier, but if I wasn't able to nurse her like with the perfect timing of going up and going down, she was a nightmare. And I felt so bad, not just for her, but also for the other people around us. But I have to tell this quick story. I'm gonna put these clips in of us flying, but I have to tell this quick story really quick because it meant so much to me. And I wanna let other people know in case you happen to be on a flight. Maybe you can tell this to a mom that's having a hard time struggling with their baby. So we were coming home from Mexico and I was trying to nurse Snow as we were descending, and she just wasn't hungry. So she decided she wasn't gonna eat. And despite all my efforts to try to nurse her, she just wasn't having it. So I just prayed for the best, and she started feeling, I think, her ears hurting, and I hadn't given her Tylenol. A lot of people had said like give a Tylenol like an hour before the flight to help with any pain for their ears, or give grape water, any of that stuff. I didn't do any of that because I wanted to try just without any of it first and see how she did. And on the first like flight she did really well, and then this flight she did not do well at all. I mean, it was really bad. Like I started crying. I don't show that in the video because I wasn't filming and I was having a hard time with her, but and I had help. I had help from Travis and my mom, and it was still so hard. I can't imagine the people that do it by themselves. But Snow was screaming, like screaming at the top of her lungs, and you guys know me, I like panic over the littlest things. So obviously I was like doing my very best to hold it together and like not panic, because I know she can sense like when I start to get anxious. And she would just scream, scream, scream. I couldn't do anything to like calm her down. Toys, trying to nurse her, pacifier, like literally everything that I could. Nothing was working. She was just in so much pain. I think her ears were bothering her. And like, you know those screams that you just like, you can't even think straight. And the mom, and there was a mom in front of me and she had two boys, and then her baby would start screaming and crying. And it was just like, once Snow would stop crying, her baby would start crying. And it was just like a back and forth like tennis match of babies screaming. I felt bad for the people on the plane. But she like, almost like as we were landing, turned around when Snow had calmed down, and she was like, she just said like, I just want to let you know it's totally okay, like don't stress out. My baby did that for like 3 hours. He screamed like that on our plane to New York, and you know, people are gonna look at you and give you looks and stuff, but don't worry about them. Like, you know, there's nothing you can do, and it's okay. Just try to remain calm, because they can sense when you're anxious. And she was just so sweet and like trying to make me feel better, because I was literally in tears, like crying. I wasn't crying when she was crying, but once she stopped crying, I started crying, because I was able to finally like know that she was okay. And then I started crying because I was like so stressed out. But anyway, the mom in front of me was so sweet, and like for her to take the time to turn around and like make me feel better like that, I thought was so nice. Like, you know, sometimes the world can be hard and people can be mean, and it's nice to have other moms supporting each other. Being a mom is hard, and it's nice to have other moms that recognize that and can be supportive towards you. And I feel like I just wish that we could all be more supportive and loving of each other, and instead of like being judgy or thinking like, oh, well, she should have given Tylenol before the flight, that's what she gets, you know, being sweet. So let's spread more love and kindness. If you happen to be on a flight or going somewhere, you see a mom having a hard time, going through the airport by herself with kids, ask to help, you know. people don't think of that. And I think a lot of times, like if you don't have kids yourself, like you don't realize that it is difficult. And I didn't know that. And the only reason like why before I had kids, I would help someone if they had kids in the airport and I saw them like struggling, like trying to carry something, I'd ask if I can like carry, you know, their stroller to help them out or whatever. It was because my sister Chantal has 3 kids, and she's like, if you ever see a mom in the airport by herself, like you ask to help them, you know? So anyway, now that I've rambled on about my experience flying with snow, I'm gonna show you the clips of some of flying with her. But I have another flight coming up, and it's a 5-hour flight with the connecting flight with it, and it's just like I'm not looking forward to it. It's really stressful flying with a baby, at least it was for me, because I'm just like an anxious person as it is, so adding in an infant with that makes me even more anxious. But anyway, okay, here are the clips.
Call me not to do it. Can you do it? Tell me. Come on. I know, spit it out. Spit it out.
Just a reminder, everyone, if you have small backpacks or purse.
They're in our way. Yes, they are. Tell me.
Small electronic devices like mobile phones and
Tell me a story. Come on.
small electronic devices like mobile phones and tablets may be used in airplane mode during our flight. Please make sure that they are secured in your hand or sit back pocket and taxi take off the lady. Always pay attention to all safety briefings. Although our plane is equipped with wireless internet, we are out of the coverage area, so unfortunately there is no Wi-Fi available on this flight. Translating devices that may interfere with aircraft communications may not be used. They'll need to be turned off before we get going. If you're seeing an emergency exit seat, please have a look at the safety information card. The list requirements and instructions on how to help in case of an emergency. If you're unable to meet the requirements, change yourself by helping or simply prefer not to perform the activity. Please the flight attendants know before we close that door, we'll get you reseated.
Hi, baby. Hi, baby girl. Smile for the camera. Smile for the camera. Hi, gorgeous. Hi, beautiful. Sweet girl.
All of your carry-on items must be
Hi, lovey. You like the lovey one, huh?
from seat power. All electronic devices may be held or secured.
Do you like being called lovey? Huh?
Must be fully underneath the seat or overhead.
Okay. Fix your hat. Oh, yeah.
Southwest Airlines Flight 785, service service to Sacramento. Hey folks, so it's funny to know that is serving today. Folks, you've already heard from Laura. She's in back. Kennedy's in Big Cabin. Folks, my name is Tammy. I'll be serving you up front. The short list of takeoff will serve complimentary soft drinks, juice and coffee. Alcoholic beverages may be purchased with a credit card. We also accept valid coupons for alcoholic beverages. In this time, folks, are going to ask that you turn up and store your larger electronic devices, which is your laptop. So listen to electronic devices that may be used after takeoff.
Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video.